In this section, we'll talk about ability cards. Using them wisely could be the key to your Bakugan greatness. They are the little or even big surprises that you can use to defeat your opponent. Ability cards bend easily, and they come in 3 frame colors: red, blue, and green. Every ability card has 5 elements to it. First is the artwork. Sometimes this can give you a hint as to which Bakugan attribute the card may benefit the most. For instance, this ability card has a Heios Bakugan and background, so it may be helpful to your force if you have a Heios Bakugan. Second is the name of the card. Third is the frame color. Again, there are 3 frame colors, and as you know, when setting up for a game, you need 3 ability cards: 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 green. Fourth are these 6 circles on the left-hand side of the card. They represent the different attributes of Bakugan. This one affects Subterra, Heios, and Darkus attributes. The last and most important part of these cards is the text box. The text box tells you 2 things. 1, when to play the card, and 2, what the card does. This one says, play during a battle. Then it says, your Bakugan gains G power based on its attribute. The only time you can use this ability card is when you are in a battle, and using it will give you a G power bonus to your Subterra, Heios, or Darkus Bakugan. To use your ability card, inform your opponent that you want to use one of your ability cards, show it to him, and then move it to your used pile. Let's talk about different ability cards and what they do. Here's a general idea of how each differs from the others. Blue ability cards are usually played during battle and usually give you some kind of extra G power. Red ability cards are usually played in the rolling phase of the battle, which means they can impact your roll or your opponent's. And the green ability cards are wild cards. They can be played at random times during the game, often with surprising effects. Let's focus on blue ability cards. Let's look at G Power Bump. It gives a G Power boost of 60 if you're playing with Aquos, Heios, or Ventus Bakugan. But what other surprises do these blue frame beauties hold? Like this one, Circle of Fire. Check out the G Power points for Pyrus, 110. And now check out the points for Ventus, only 50 points. Could be very useful when playing a Pyrus Bakugan. Okay, this card says to play it when? That's right, this one says play during a battle on one of your gate cards. So you can only use this card when there is a battle on one of your gate cards. You will have to decide when is the best time to use an ability card like this. It's all a part of your journey to Bakugan Mastery. Moving on to red-framed ability cards. This one's called Shun's Throw. Notice there are no G-Power bonus circles on the left side of this card. Let's move on to the text box. Remember, the first sentence tells you when to play the card. This one says to play it before you roll. So you play this card before you roll, but what else does it do? Well, it says right here. You may look at one of the face-down gate cards in the battle area, a sneak peek. This could help you select which Bakugan you roll in the future. Remember, knowledge is power. On to another red-framed card example. This one is called Marucho's Throw. This card tells you to play after you roll and your Bakugan stands. It then says that you may move your Bakugan to another gate card. This could be helpful if your Bakugan rolls onto the wrong gate card. In that case, you can play this card, move your Bakugan, and then place it in your used pile. And last but definitely not least, the green framed ability card. These cards can come with all kinds of twists and turns to make battle more interesting. Like this Aquos card. If you think it helps your Aquos force, you're right. Again, it tells you exactly when to play. Play at the start of a battle when you have an Aquos Bakugan. And what else does it do? Well, it says replace that Bakugan with any of your unused Bakugan that are not already in the arena. Interesting. This gives you the option to replace one of your Bakugan with another one that may be better able to beat your opponent. Well, now you know that ability cards don't just bump your G-Power. They can be used in lots of ways. Knowing what ability cards you have, what they do, and when to play them will help you become a Bakugan master. This section will give you hints on how to better choose your ability cards. As you know, ability cards come with either a blue, red, or green frame color. Let's focus on the red framed ability cards first. Red cards are normally played in the rolling phase of the game, either when you are rolling or your opponent is rolling. They're helpful when you miss and need to roll again, or if you need to roll for a specific card. Sometimes they present a risk-reward, where if you land on something specific, you get a bonus of some type. And sometimes they can be played when your opponent is rolling, so that they can interfere with his attempt to win. Which card should you use? If you're new to Bakugan, and your rolling skills are not reliable, you want to pick a card that will let you roll again. Now, if your rolling skills are more advanced, you'll want to include red-framed ability cards that give you a bonus for landing on a card you want to land on, or a red-framed ability card that's going to give you a little bit more of information before you roll. On to blue-framed ability cards. These cards are usually played during a battle and almost always give you extra G power. Now, some ability cards give less power than others, but they are all valuable. You'll find that blue-framed ability cards with a lower G power bonus tend to be easy to play. In other words, situations in which they can be played come up more often. The blue-framed cards that offer higher G power bonuses are playable in situations that come up less. Lastly, the wild card, the green-framed ability card. These often have strange and unexpected effects, and there is a range of times when you can play these cards. For beginners, select a green ability card that mentions the attributes you are using. As you learn more about Bakugan, you'll see how powerful these cards can be, and you'll have a better idea of which ones will work best for you. When choosing your card, look for the ones that work with the attributes of your Bakugan. Often, the most powerful cards only work with one or two attributes of your Bakugan. So, this sums up ability cards. For more information and strategies on how and when to play them, you can always go to www.bakugan.com, where there's a wealth of information, updates, and tips on all things Bakugan.